All right, in this episode, we talk about the correct internal and external rotation for the throwing arm.
And what is the power to weight ratio for position players?
Brent Porcio, Stephen Godana here at the @TopVelocity #PitchTip Show, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, @TopVelocity #PitchTips, #BaseballTips. Ask your question. We'll answer it on the show. Still in our Brute Strength t-shirts. Obviously, we like the shirts. We shot 3 episodes today, guys. Sometimes we just got to wrap them all up in one day. We don't wear these same shirts every day.
This is been going on for a week.
Yeah,
Brent's trying to lie.
Yeah, we're wearing these same shirts every day.
Haven't showered.
But they are great shirts. So, Brute Strength, you want to learn about Brute Strength, check them out, Brute Strength. They help us in all of our Olympic programming because they're the best of the best when it comes to it. Baseball is just trying to get a piece of it, okay? And that's what we do here, 3X Pitching. If you want to sign up for Velocity Camps, guys, go to topvelocity.net. Under Velocity Camps, 3X, 2X camps. 2X are position players, 3X is pitchers. They are filling up. Price is going to go up in the 3X camp soon. So hurry up and book because spaces are filling up. When the summer gets busy here, it's a great time. It's an exciting time to come down and work and really apply yourself, make big gains. We just had a big guy make some big gains, 83 at camp, hit 87 in here today. He's been here for about a month. Would you say Carter? No, not Derek. What's Derek's last name?
Carter. I don't know.
Is it Carter? Maybe Derek Carter? It might be. I don't know. Sorry, Derek, for screwing your last name. All right, so cool. What's the question for today? John Fitzpatrick asks, is it a problem if there is more external rotation than internal rotation in throwing arm? Do you stretch to even them out? Hey, this is a question on GERD, glenohumeral internal rotation deficit disorder, something like that. So there's a lot of opinions on how this works. Basically, I think the best way to look at it is when you throw, first of all, you gain external rotation, you lose internal rotation. Typically, if you gain, say, 20 degrees and you lose 40, that's a problem. You don't want to lose way more than you gain, okay? But the best way to do it is look at the range of motion in your non-throwing arm, measure the full range of motion. So take your external rotation range, internal rotation range, add it together. That should equal the throwing arm. It'll be in a very different range. This one might go, 100, 100, and this one goes, 130, 70. So the point is they're going to be in different ranges. Just make sure the total range is the same. And if you are losing more internal than the external you're gaining, there is a shoulder problem. You have an integrity problem that can lead to injury. That's a good way to make sure you're not going to tear your shoulder up. You definitely want at least 50 to 60 internal rotation range, because anything less than that, you won't give your arm time to decelerate. Then your scap's going to want to rip out of your shoulder and tear your labrum. Okay, so at least 60 degrees of internal rotation. Of course, max external rotation, the more the better. Things we can do, I don't believe in stretching to, say if we lose a lot of internal, I don't believe in stretching it. You could if it's that bad. I believe in strengthening it. Strengthening is stretching if you're strengthening in full ranges. Anything you want to add?
Yeah, I was watching Kelly stare it, and I've completely, for the past time I've been here, when I've been measuring guys as internal and external, I've been doing it completely wrong. And they've been cheating, all of them.
Oh, yeah, because of the trunk.
Well, the trunk, yeah, and then
shoulder
people, when they do it, they roll their shoulder forward.
It is hard because you can cheat by doing trunk extension, trunk flexion. You can cheat by pulling your shoulder back, pulling your shoulder forward.
The big one was like
internal,
they'll bend and like try to get more.
You gotta
you
gotta lock the trunk in and be like boom boom, right?
Yeah. And then the shoulder on internal rotation, everybody will cheat and try to roll the shoulder forward, and that's not internal rotation either. So, and I fixed it now. It's all good now.
Cool. And we're actually in the new. No, I'm not gonna say it. There's something new coming out, guys. It'll be really exciting, and we have a whole way for you to do self-assessments. Self-assessments are the future, guys. We'll be doing it. Next question. Nate Butler asks, do the same power weight numbers apply for guys that throw hard from the infield as they would a pitcher? Clean and squat numbers, etc. Of course, power to weight ratio is the same. I mean, it's a good question, Nate. Of course, it's the same. Tell you the truth, it's probably more of a demand to have better power to weight in the field because that helps you move faster, hit bat speed, throwing speed. I mean, just look at it. I'll never forget, was St. Louis, while a few World Series back, ran out of pitchers in the playoffs, actually not in the World Series, because they were like 20-inning game and they didn't want to burn any more pitchers, so they put their shortstop. He said he hadn't pitched since high school. And he got on the mound, he was pumping 95 consistently.
Who's this?
I forgot, man. This was like 3 or 4 years back. And it was unbelievable. So the point is even more. Mike Trout, what do you think his power to weight ratio is?
Through the roof.
You know? Bryce Harper, what do you think his power to weight ratio is? You know,
we can actually kind of think of that one because he power cleaned 375.
Yeah, supposedly, he cleaned Bryce Harper power cleaned 375. So look at his power to weight right there. I'm not telling a pitcher he's got a power clean 375, so it's more of a demand out there because there's more athleticism required from them and speed and stuff. Pitchers can be very efficient and get away with not using so much athleticism. But at the same time, too, it never hurts to have a lot of it, a.k.a. Chapman, who supposedly beat Billy Hamilton in a 60-yard sprint. Okay, so yes, it's more important out in the field. That's why they don't look at us as athletes, because they know most of them are more athletic than we are. But if we're more athletic than them, like Chapman, how hard are we going to throw on the mound? How hard can we throw? That's ideal. So, of course, man, it's even more important out there.
Yeah, I read a study on ground reaction forces for position players, and they were saying that the position players that had the higher ground reaction forces had the higher slugging percentage, higher stolen bases, and tended to be better fielders. So it was a study.
They had the higher what?
Higher slugging percentages, higher stolen bases, and they tended to be better fielders.
And higher ground reaction forces are typical of power to weight ratios, or would be a very close correlation to power to weight ratio. Of course, power to weight ratio there's going to be a lot of efficiencies in there. So you might have guys who say have a 1.5 power to weight ratio and is actually cleaning more weight than another guy has a 1.5, but that guy is more efficient in transferring that into the bar. So it's like one pitcher might be throwing 90 with less ground reaction forces than another guy because he's more efficient, maybe has longer levers, he's more efficient in transferring that energy of the ball. It's not everything, it's like the engine. I can have, a lot of horsepower in my engine, really bad transmission, really bad suspension wheels, and I'm not getting speeds out of it. And I take a little crappy engine, put a beautiful transmission, suspension, wheels, and it's keeping up with that big horsepower. Same thing, but still, the ground reaction forces is the engine.
Yeah, the biggest thing to me was that they're saying that the guys with the highest ground reaction forces were the ones that were typically having all of those things that we
Which is typically they're probably looking at like a big difference. It's like, of course, the guys generating, 3 times body weight as opposed to guys generating 1 times body weight are they're higher in everything,
Yeah. So pretty much just saying that the better athletes were the ones that were producing greater ground reaction forces and getting all these benefits out on the field. So if you're a position player, then why wouldn't you be training to be one of the best athletes on the field, pushing out the most ground reaction forces, getting your power to weight ratio numbers up?
Why wouldn't you be? I think position players are watching this going, hey, give us more information. Like it's a must to have high power to weight
Ask
ratios.
more questions on it then.
Yeah, come on. Position players get in on this.
Yeah.
All the pitchers sitting here going,
I don't like lifting. I can do this with just mechanics.
Yeah, like what can I cherry pick here? Can I cherry pick the hip shoulder separation? That might work.
Is the Stens machine, is that gonna increase velocity for me?
Right. If I put all these arm recovery devices on my arm, is that gonna make me throw hard? No, guys. Like, look at it like an athlete, like a javelin thrower looks at it, like a quarterback looks at it, like a sprinter looks at it, like.
Basketball player,
I got to be
player.
bigger, stronger, faster than my competition. At the same time, too, in this skill, I got to, like golf, bigger, stronger, faster. But, hey, you know what? I'm going to have a really sweet swing. I'm going to have a really sweet delivery. So it's just icing on the cake. I mean, to me, at this point in the game, biomechanics is icing on the cake. Like, get the athlete in here and then teach them to sweeten it up. And then you got the perfect, specimen. Don't, come in here poor athlete and then be like, I'm going to be impeccable on my pitching mechanics to pump 90. I mean, give me a break. That's just the challenge of that. It's impossible. It's like we could just come in with a chainsaw and knock this thing down, and you want to like get out a scalpel and just be perfect to 90. I mean, it's like there's a balance there. Okay, so to me, we take many different roads, so we're almost guaranteed success. And I think when you limit what you're going to do, I don't need all this lifting, I don't need all that, you're limiting your potential to really achieve the goals that you want to achieve. All right, good question. And go to Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, @Top Velocity, #Pitch Tips, #Baseball Tips. Ask your question, we answer on the show. And come check out 3X Velocity camps. Those are filling up. Like I said, 2X camps. We'll see you on the next episode.
Yeah. Hold on, we them boys. Hold on, we them boys.